Okay guys, I want to talk to you about what I think is the most powerful submission in the world. If you catch your partner in it, it's super tough to escape and you have a ton of submission options. Chelsea's laughing at me because I'm overselling it a little bit. So I'm going to show you how we get to the position, one of the ways I get to the position, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. So first thing, I'm going to start in side control. Okay, I've got to isolate her or her arms away from her body. That's always going to be one of my first priorities, because if I don't do that, everything's going to be a lot more challenging from it. Okay, so now, from here, I'm not too worried about what I do with this arm at the moment, but I'm going to try and get up super high, and I want to step this leg up over the top of her head. Okay, that's all I'm trying to do. There's a couple of ways that we can do that, but this is the simplest one. Get up high and step. Now from here, normally I'll try and trap it on this side of my head. I'm going to switch my hips, drive my leg under her head, and start turning into this reverse triangle here. Okay? So I'm just rotating my hips from one side so that this knee's high, it shoots under, I drop to the other side, and I catch the reverse triangle in this position. Okay? Now, as you can see, I've already caught Chelsea's head and arm. I'm not putting a ton of pressure in because I'm just being nice right now. And I also have this arm available to me here. Okay, the submission options that we have, firstly, I can pull this one in tight, and I can start pulling her arm and pinching my legs to get the reverse triangle submission. We also, we also have this arm which is readily available to us as well. So normally I'll start setting it up into like a Kimura position. This can be really, really tricky to finish initially, but we do have a wrist lock on the end of it. If I wanted to set the Kimura up, one of the things that I'm going to do, she'll always be trying to do some kind of defense in it, sorry. She'll always be doing some sort of defense anyway. Like normally. Okay, sorry, I was choking her unconscious. She'll always be like defending this arm in some way, so like grabbing onto a belt, so it'll be more in the center of her body. Yeah, perfect. Anytime she does this, we can use the belt trap. So I grab hold of the belt, or if her gi is undone, we can use the gi trap in the same way. That's going to give me one hand that's completely free to start building myself up, and then I can switch it back and start going to the Kimura from there. Okay? So the beautiful thing about this position is, kind of no matter where Chelsea goes, she can't turn it in space. There's no way for her to change her rotation or orientation in relation to me. So what will often happen is I'll be here, I'll be isolating this arm, I push the head, I step over, I switch my hips, I get to here, and then let's say that Chelsea starts going this direction, please, start coming up on top. Yeah, the other way, okay, we'll go this way, it's fine too. And I end up kind of underneath her a little bit. Okay, I'm basically still in exactly the same position. I have this arm that's available over to me here. Okay, I have the reverse triangle if I want to pull that free from there as well. Like I said, I have a ton of different options. So, the same would be true if she decided or somehow went to the other direction as well. So if I go over the top, I step over the top here, and then she manages to roll up in, this kind of direction. Same thing. We're still in the reverse triangle. I still have the Kimura and the submission from there. Okay. So that's kind of like a generalistic kind of overview of the position. Like I said, to make it work, just stay on the ground. I'll go through it one more time. To make it work, the first most important thing that we have to have is I've got to make sure that her elbows are away from her body. If I don't achieve this, no matter what I do otherwise, it's going to make it very, very difficult. So I'm going to start using my legs and my hips to kill those arms. The second thing when I do this is I need to make sure that I'm getting her arm between my legs in some way. Now, I like to just kind of step over the head quite often. You can also use it as pinning your knee down over the ground. I can push it in between my legs and then take a big step over in this direction. It doesn't matter too much, but I have to have it over there, okay? Like I said, my favorite one is I go here, I push the head, I take this big step, and my leg goes down to the ground, okay? The next thing that I really have to do is not stay facing in this direction. I have to turn and switch my hips so my head's coming down underneath. Okay, and then from there, I'm gonna look at picking this arm. Okay, even if I can just kind of cross my legs a little bit to start with, that's gonna be good enough. To tighten this up, I always go to the elbow, okay? Because that's just gonna pull directly on the shoulder, and I'll kick my heel like I'm putting on a boot, okay? So when I drive this one through, I'm not kind of pointing my toes, I'm driving my heel through as deep as I can, I do a hamstring curl, and then I lock this back. Now immediately you'll probably start seeing Chelsea's head going red, and she'll feel a lot less comfortable. Okay, if I want to finish this, all I do is I maintain that same pressure, I get that squeeze, and I start pulling and applying the pressure in towards her neck, and we'll get that. Okay, but this gives me the control for the rest of the position. And although when I'm teaching it, I'll let go quite often, I maintain this if I want to come up into the Kimura as well. So I'm going to be able to do it very, very gently on Chelsea. Okay, I'm going to keep this grip on the hand.
I'm happy to demonstrate if you'd like.
Chelsea would love to demonstrate this. So I'm always going to keep this grip on the hand. Like it could be the Kimura grip here, like I talked about before. It could be using this belt grip. I could stuff her hand in her belt. I could be using this lapel. It doesn't matter too much. I have something. And then when I keep this, I start basting towards my head, and I maintain this position up as I come up on top. As I said, in reality, I'd be squashing my head a lot more. I just don't want to because I'm feeling quite nice, and obviously, you know, I have to teach with her later as well. So that was always to be a problem. So I'm here, and that means that if I, for whatever reason, when I'm trying this Kimura, she rolls over or something, we haven't lost anything. I haven't lost the position. I'm still in exactly the same place. Okay, come back down to me. If I can't, and then spin around this way. If I can't, for whatever reason, finish my primary attack of either the reverse triangle or this Kimura, like I said, we have a wrist lock here. Her arm, if this is in properly, her arm is basically, put your leg straight for me please, is basically in another Kimura, so I can bend it in this direction, I can rotate the other way, I have a wrist lock. And the other thing that I have as well is this straight arm bar driving into it and putting pressure into this straight arm bar from there. Okay? So, you can stand up. I'm on her hair. If your partner has like a ponytail as well, that gives you another element of control, particularly if you can trap it behind your knee. So that's the reverse triangle Kimura ultimate submission that is inescapable, or not inescapable, but it's very, very difficult to escape. And it's super simple if you slide over the body like I'm doing. It's very unexpected for the person who's having this done to them. So test it out, try it out, and report back.